Get ready to enter the Thrive Time Show.
We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here.
We started from the bottom, now we're on the top. Teaching you the systems to get what we got. Colton Dixon's on the hooks, I break down the books. Z's bringing some wisdom and the good looks. As the father of five, that's why I'm alive. So if you see my wife and kids, please tell them hi. It's the C&Z up on your radio. And now 3, 2, 1, here we go.
We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get.
We're here with Tim Redmond, and Tim, this subject we're going to talk about is near and dear to my heart because if I wasn't married, I would revert to most of these things.
Interesting.
Well, the topic is you can't act like an idiot and expect to be paid like a boss. And I got married at a young age. We were just 20 when we got married, and so my wife's held me accountable for all 13 years. But here are some things I'm going to throw out to you. Is I was a guy who desperately wanted to be successful. I had double hoop earrings. Maybe you're watching this. Maybe that's you. I had double hoop earrings, kind of like the whole pirate phase. I was listening to Eminem in my car. I literally had installed a subwoofer in my Mazda MPV van so I could hear it louder. And I remember driving around in my car, being that angry guy, the likes to fight guy. If you stepped on my shoes, I would go after you a little bit. And I have always been motivated, but I was the angry guy. I dressed, I always wore like hip hop clothing. I always looked upset. I was repelling business. I was just repelling people that wanted to help me.
Right.
And it was told to me by a mentor, he says, you can't dress like an idiot and expect to be paid like a boss. And I was offended, I was upset, maybe you're offended, maybe you're upset, but I learned and I now understand when someone says you're a sellout, that's because you're selling something. And I wasn't able to sell something because I wasn't a sellout. So I'm going to go through some of these rules with you, and I want to get your take on it. Right. So first off, when you hear the idea that you can't act like an idiot and expect to be paid like a boss, what are some of the idiot things that you see people do all the time that you say, that's why you can't be successful? Some of the idiot acts that are very common that you see in common, maybe you used to do, but things that you see entrepreneurs do all the time that's limiting them from being successful.
Yeah, I have this thing called sloppy assumptions.
Okay.
And we will go through with every client that I work with and say, okay, what assumptions are you making, and are they serving you or are they destroying you? Or are they not serving you? And sloppy assumptions like, I'm going to make calls when I feel like making calls. I'm going to provide this when it's perfect, but not until then. You know, they're not stumbling forward. You know, we're doing things that actually stifle our learning process, and learning is what drives growth, and learning is what drives wealth. And so we have a number of these things: acting like an idiot, like allowing my feelings to be more important than having that client like me and want to buy from me. You know, you're a jerk, client, so let me tell you why I think you're a jerk. And so does that client, are they going to be more apt to want to buy from me or do business from me? When they like me, what do they really like? They like the way they feel about themselves when they're with me. How do they feel? How do your clients feel about you when they're with you? That you know, those are some of the idiot things that we've done where we're shutting down people. We're acting like a jerk, and we're wondering why people don't want to hang out with us and buy from us.
So let me ask this. In your career, I know that you've probably acted like an idiot at least twice.
Yeah, you know, on like a 15-minute time increment is usually the...
Now, when you acted like an idiot, what were some of the things in your career where you were doing dumb things and expecting a different result? Like you were kind of acting like an idiot in a certain area, but you expected to be paid like a boss. Was there something you can think of where you were just perpetually doing something?
Yeah. I know I would, you know, I was with a software company. I was the sales team. I was the marketing team. I was the support team. And these are all divisions. I was the customer service team. I was the testing team of testing the software. I got to do all of that. And when I did not organize myself towards this, I did not give myself that marketing calendar. When I didn't give myself a script to follow in the sales process. And this is something that I would pay attention to the calls at work, and I'd write it out, and I'd follow that. Or creating a sales process. Most companies out there are order-taking companies, they're not selling companies. You know, and so I do a lot of converting them from taking orders to really selling.
So you were disorganized at times.
I was disorganized. There were times that I was organized.
Yeah.
But there was most of the time I was disorganized because I was just going to take it as it came. I was going to, I could think on my toes. I was just going to wing it, and it was just, I'd love to be proud of myself on that. And I would not take times. I was an idiot with my calendar, with my schedule, and I think I would just stumble into the right things, and I would stumble into just having a lot of very unfortunate things.
Now, here are some things that I've discovered that nearly every successful entrepreneur used to do. Either, so every successful entrepreneur maybe doesn't do it now, but they used to do it.
Yeah.
Here we go. One is dressing badly, like really badly, like in a way that kind of extends a middle finger to your client base. Being late for things, perpetually. Not, we all run into something, but I mean, not just being a little late or getting that once in a blue moon, but I mean perpetually, where people can set their watch by how late you're going to be. They just know it will happen. Not keeping a to-do list. Not keeping a day timer, not working hard while on the job. How often?
As you say, not working while you work.
Not working while you work. So talk to me about the importance first of making a great first impression and dressing for the job you want instead of the job you have. Talk to me about the importance of that.
Yeah, when you sell any product whatsoever, what's the first product you really sell?
Yourself.
A lot of people say yourself, and when you think about it, if you can separate it from this,
okay.
Before people buy into you, they buy into your confidence, and they buy into your first impression. Mm-hmm. And so you want to create everything that aligns, that reconfirms that wow, this is worthwhile for me buying into. First of all, what do I feel about myself and the world around me? Am I just this little wimpy guy that doesn't amount to much? Am I just going through the motions? Do I know they're going to reject me because the last 99 people rejected me? So how I feel about myself, my confidence level is going to be the emotional energy they're going to borrow to be able to make a decision towards me. And I have to reinforce that with how I'm dressing. Now here's something too, Clay. It's how your body language. It's how you dress, but how you wear that dress, if you will. Your suit. If you're slouching, yeah, they're going to subconsciously feel that you're going to slouch on their job. You're going to slouch on your product. They're going to begin to, and it happens so quickly that they're not even aware of it. Your emotional language goes 80,000 times faster than your cognitive, your thinking language, your feeling language. And so people are going to feel like you're going to waste their time based on how you look and how you project.
What would you say to the guy who says, let's say that, and maybe the guy's on the other end of that camera right now, and he says, only God can judge me. You can't tell me how to dress or how to stand or how to...
Only God can judge you with what? For where he spends eternity or whatever god-awful, belief you have on anything else, Those are irresponsible statements that poor people make, and not poor, not without money, but poor meaning living far below their design. Because I'm not down on people that don't have money. I'm down on people that have money or don't have money that don't want to do anything about their lot in life. I'm down with people that just want to say, well, that's all there is. This is what life offered me, so God's my judge. That's irresponsible. And I'm highly allergic to that. And the thing is God judges you for whatever he judges you for, but if you're going to interact with people, everybody judges everybody. Well, judge, they're going to evaluate is a better word. They're going to evaluate whether you're wasting their time or not.
At the mall, there's girls who see a guy every day walk by and they go, oh, that guy must be successful. Oh, that's a nice guy. I wouldn't mind if he asked me out, or, well, that's a handsome-looking guy. Or they see somebody and they go,
without
whoa.
talking to him, they're just watching him.
They're just watching him, and they're making these statements in their mind all the time. And I think it's important that we understand that however we look does create a certain response. And an example of what not to do, I drive a Hummer, which is about as wide as one lane of the road. And I got honked at probably 4 times on my home yesterday, probably 4 times. And I just am not mindful of the lanes. I just choose a center lane.
Right.
And
You're on the lane, it may be between the two.
Well,
lanes.
I forced one car over into the shoulder, one car to hit the brakes, and I forced them to extend the middle finger or to hit the horn.
Pointing up to say, look at the weather,
Look
at the
look
clouds.
at things. This finger's injured, so I'll use a different one, and I'll
Yeah.
extend. And the thing is, I caused people to do that. Like I did. I mean, it's my poor driving that caused people to get upset. That's the cause of it.
Right.
And all I'm saying is that some of us are dressing in a way that is upsetting people, and we don't understand that. And I want to know, though, because you grew up without financial resources. You're one of 11 kids. You guys did not have the financial capacity to go take all the kids to get tailored clothes. So how would you suggest, if I grew up poor right now, how would you suggest that I afford clothes, nice clothes? What would I do?
Okay, here's what I did.
Yeah.
If I wanted clothes other than what my brother wore,
Yeah.
and my older brother from that wore, then I had the opportunity to go out there and find jobs and work. At 10 years of age, I'm mowing lawns, and I remember this hill, some of these yards here in Tulsa that go down like this, and I know I would have a rope because I lost my lawnmower a couple times in the street. I'd have a rope, and I'd almost be pulling me over. I'd have to have it down, and I'd have to pull it up on this. It'd take me forever in a day to get done with these lawns. But if I wanted to have the clothes that I wanted, I worked.
So you started a landscaping service as a little kid as a way to just make it
A
happen.
landscaping service. I love the way that sounds. I went door to door. I was so shy because of my speech impediment and the scarring and the way people would make fun of the way I spoke. I was so afraid to go door to door. But I wanted good clothes.
Yeah.
I wanted to buy my cereal and not have to eat the oatmeal that my parents, had plenty of. I wanted certain things. I wanted to be generous with my other brothers and sisters so much that I overcame my horrid fear of talking to people, and I went knocking on doors selling these decoupage plaques, and I made boatloads of money.
What were they?
They're called decoupage plaques here. We use, you have this piece of board, you take a quote on it, and that's where I got into quotes and all this kind of stuff. And I've got thousands of quotes I wrote myself. And you paste it on there, and you put all this lacquer on it so you can't even feel the paper here. And I used to sell those. You hang them up in your living room or whatever.
It's interesting, but when we interviewed Arthur Greeno, who you know well, his mom was an alcoholic. His dad basically just disappeared when he was 13.
Right,
Never saw him again until he was 18. He had a way of going door to door to sell things. I started buying candy bars at the store. They were 4 for $1. And so I thought, well, because when you play baseball, if you've ever played a sport or a competitive, if you're on a dance team or a sporting team or band or something, they'll say, sell these candy bars to raise money for the team.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, season's over. But selling season has not stopped.
Come on.
So I would buy these candy bars 4 for $1 and say, hey, I'm raising money for my baseball team. Would you like to support us? Yes, I would. And I would just pocket, and I did that. I bought a trampoline for myself as a kid because I wanted one. We couldn't afford the big trampoline. I bought a Nintendo for myself because you couldn't afford that. I remember buying a dog for myself. We couldn't afford the dog. I remember buying clothes for myself. I remember people at school would be like, must be nice, like my junior and senior year. And I was making considerable amounts of money, but it was just that desire to provide. I think that's really interesting. So you're saying that if you can't afford right now to dress to impress, ultimately, any of the stores that say now hiring, you would suggest going there and working or finding another way to earn money?
Yeah, earn some more money. And then also with this here, Clay, I remember I was supporting this missionary, that's doing some wonderful works in some places and just getting people engaged in the community, just really bringing a lot of, food and education to a certain area.
Yeah.
And I knew this missionary was really hurting. But he had what he had on, and his shoes, which were pretty beat up, but he had them shined.
Yeah.
And he had what he had on was the thread was worn on it.
Yeah.
But it was ironed and well. And he presented himself the best he could, you know. And were we able to support him? Yes. Somebody that's going to take what they have and do it. But you're not stuck. You know, that's what motivated me as a kid. I overcame horrible fears of selling and interacting and doing what I'm doing and talking to people and because I wanted stuff to you know.
You wouldn't suggest wearing a shirt that says, like, you know, don't hate me because I'm hot, or screw everybody, or those sorts of shirts, or you wouldn't suggest maybe dressing the worst you could dress. You would recommend, no matter what you're at financially, try to do the best you can.
Look in the mirror with somebody that doesn't know you. If you had somebody come up to you looking exactly like you look, would they be compelled to say, you know what, that guy's up to something good, I want to buy something from them?
And I would even say, this is one thing that was very humbling for me. A person said to me, he said, if you look in the mirror and ask yourself if an investor would ever be willing to invest $1 million in you. And that question has been one that will not leave me alone, because whenever I think about it, I'm like, okay, and I have to like readjust, you know. And I think it's huge if we set that high standard. Yeah. And I want to ask you this. The next principle here is being on time. Now, I know I've got 5 kids. You've got the 4 kids. I have an amazing wife. You have a great wife. All the kids are involved in activities. There's tons of stuff going on. There's never a day without an emergency or someone being sick. There's always meetings that run a little bit over how they should run. But talk to me about this. How important is being on time in your mind?
You know, it shows that other person respect. If you meet with somebody, I had one of your primary mentors. And he and I met at a restaurant, and I had a call that went over. Yeah. And so I came in about 10 minutes late. He said, Tim, you know, I was tempted to leave, but I wanted to stay here to leave this message with you. When you came late, you told me that I was not important. You also told yourself that your commitments don't matter. If you say you're going to come here at this time and you come 10 minutes late. So I was about ready to leave, but I wanted to invest in our relationship. That was Clifton, you know, one of our mentors. And he was very, very direct with me. Yeah. And it's like, wow, well, Cliff, we're buddies at church, and you can't talk to me that way. No, he was a true friend. Yeah. A best friend is the one that brings out the best in you. Yeah. And so, you know, I am more of an event-oriented person. I'm more of a, you know, I go down to South America a lot and interact, do a lot of training down there with businesses and churches and governments, and so it's like to say goodbye is like a 15-minute ordeal. Yeah. And so I tend to be that way, and if I am not really careful to say, listen, this shows how much I love and respect you by being on time, then I will tend to say, well, it's about this time, and I come stumbling in when I come stumbling in.
I noticed for me, one of the hardest things is ending a meeting on time, because sometimes you want to be on time. You might start the meeting on time, but you want to end the meeting on time. One thing that I'm learning, I'm really trying to be better at this year, is kind of before the meeting starts, trying to identify all the things that need to be discussed, and then working at a speed needed to get it done on time. You know, because sometimes you don't want to, but we all of us, I don't know anybody here watching this who doesn't struggle in some capacity, whether it's once a year or once a week, with being on time. But what it does is it tells the people in the room that you don't value their time. And we've all made mistakes, but I think it's huge that we all strive to be on time. Now, with your family, in your schedule, what are some tips you would recommend, just on a practical level, whether it's setting the alarm early, or what are some tips you recommend to help somebody be on time more effectively?
Well, it really helps me if I'm beginning my day and I really map it out, and then if I share my map with my wife, she's not guessing. You know, we've got Google Calendar. She has access to see that, but for her to be able to know that, and then sometimes she nudges and says, "Tim, don't you have this going? You know, you got 20 minutes lead time for this." I'm in my event. I'm completely absorbed.
Yeah.
And so that helps me. She gives me nudges and that kind of thing. So, you know, mapping out my day and telling my wife what my day is lets her know what's going on so we can coordinate together, but also is sharing with somebody else that can say, "Hey, listen, what about this and this and this that you talked about doing?" You know.
So I'm hearing is make an actual plan for the day, a day timer, and then share that with someone else for the accountability. Is that?
Yeah.
One thing I would say, and I want to add on to that, is being realistic about how long things take. That's the area that I'm terrible at. But I yesterday we were going to order a bunch of equipment for Thrive. It's probably $20,000 of equipment. And I made a statement. I said, "Hey, we want to order this stuff at 4:30. You know, we want to order it. Everyone needs to have all their information, and at 4:30 we want to order." And I knew in my mind it would take about an hour after that get together for them to know everything they needed to buy. And it wasn't anything personal. I knew it was going to take like an hour or two to buy the equipment. But even then, I just budgeted consciously about a half hour because I wanted it to be done in a half hour.
Right.
But as I sat down and thought about it last night, I wasn't frustrated with individuals. I'm just going, you know what? It probably would have been wiser to allow a full hour for this. And I think it's important if you're an entrepreneur and you're thinking about revamping your website or making a sales script or doing your accounting, let's map out how much time it really takes to think through things. To-do lists. I have yet to meet a successful entrepreneur that does not maintain and or create a daily to-do list. Some kind of I've just not met one yet. Now there might be somebody watching this who says, due to the way that my brain is contoured, I can memorize anything and everything and I don't need a to-do list. But why is it important to maintain? Why is maintaining a to-do list so important for anybody who's ambitious enough to reach above mediocrity?
Yeah, life is so dynamic. There's things changing all the time. And when you're conscious about what you're doing, you come back to a to-do list, you're evaluating and reevaluating. Well, I've already done this. I did this yesterday. I did the day before. It's good enough. Life is changing too much. It requires a constant management, a constant tending to keep your highest and best use at the forefront. We are much less, our businesses are much less successful because we have chosen to use our time with less than our best and highest in use.
What would you say to the guy who doesn't have a to-do list, who says, I just don't use one. It's hard for me to make one. I try, I just can't make one. I want to make one. I just don't know. What would you say to that guy?
I have a guy in Brazil that's emailing me now and asking for some help and coaching. I've been down there and just kind of a follow-up. And he brings some things in about there's deeply spiritual things and things going on with his wife and things going on with his organization and this outreach that he's doing. And I'm just, motivation and all that. You know what my first bit of advice was? Make a to-do list, prioritize what's most important, and then those things that are most important, put those on a calendar, figure out about how long you're going to spend on each, put them on a calendar, and when you do that, you're going to cure yourself.
I want to real quick, because I want to give this the time, that's a huge point. I want to make sure we get this on the, I'd like to add these points to the screen here, because this is huge. But you're saying, again, repeat that, the three things you just told me to have a to-do list, right?
Have a to-do list. Identify, the most important things on that to-do list.
Yep.
Take those things and schedule those priorities on your calendar.
And some of the guys who are here were actually with us when we met Lee Cockrell, the guy who ran Disney World, and he said the same thing. And you've not talked, have you? You didn't talk about it, right?
Lee and I are good friends that have never talked, and I wouldn't know what he looks like until you meet.
Okay, and I've sat down and had the same conversation with hundreds of entrepreneurs, and they all say the same thing. So either it's a universal success code, it's like one of these either you're part of the Freemasons and you're not telling me, and you guys get together and have these secret society meetings.
The Illuminati.
The Illuminati, or it's a deal where that's what works.
JT, do you know what time it is?
4:10.
It's Tebow time in Tulsa, Jerusalem, baby. Tim Tebow is coming to Tulsa, Oklahoma, June 27th and 28th. We've been doing business conferences here since 2005. I've been hosting business conferences since 2005. What year were you born?
1995.
Dude, I've been hosting business conferences since you were 10 years old, but I've never had the two-time Heisman Award-winning Tim Tebow come present. And a lot of people, have followed Tim Tebow's football career on the field and off the field. And off the field, the guy's been just as successful as he has been on the field. Now, the big question is, JT, how does he do it?
Well, they're going to have to come and find out because I don't know.
Well, I'm just saying, Tim Tebow's going to teach us how he organizes his day, how he organizes his life, how he's proactive with his faith, his family, his finances. He's going to walk us through his mindset that he brings into the gym, into business. It is going to be a blasty blast in Tulsa, Jerusalem. Also, this is the first Thrive Time Show event that we've had where we're going to have a man who has built $100 million net worth.
Wow.
Who'll be presenting. Now, we've had a couple presenters that have had $1 billion net worth in some like real estate sort of things.
Yeah.
But this is the first time we've had a guy who's built a service business, and he's built over $100 million net worth in the service business. It's the yacht driving, multi-state living guru of franchising. Peter Taunton will be in the house. This is the founder of Snap Fitness, the guy behind 9 Round Boxing. He's going to be here in Tulsa, Jerusalem, Oklahoma, June 27th and 28th. JT, why should everybody want to hear what Peter Taunton has to say?
Oh, because he's incredible. He's just a fountain of knowledge. He is awesome. He has inspired me listening to him talk. And not only that, he also has, he practices what he teaches. So he's a real teacher. He's not a fake teacher like business school teachers. So you got to come learn from him.
Also, let me tell you this, folks. I don't want to get this wrong because if I get it wrong, someone's going to say, you screwed that up, buddy. So Michael Levine, this is Michael Levine. He's going to be coming. You say, who's Michael Levine? I don't get this wrong. This is the PR consultant of choice for Michael Jackson, for Prince, for Nike, for Charlton Heston, for Nancy Kerrigan, 34 Grammy Award winners, 43 New York Times best-selling authors he's represented, including pretty much everybody you know who's been a super celebrity. This is Michael Levine, a good friend of mine. He's going to come and talk to you about personal branding and the mindset needed to be super successful. The lineup will continue to grow. We have hit Christian recording artist Colton Dixon in the house. Now, people say, Colton Dixon's in the house? Yes, Colton Dixon's in the house. So if you like top 40 Christian music, Colton Dixon's going to be in the house performing. The lineup will continue to grow each and every day. We're going to add more and more speakers to this all-star lineup. But I encourage everybody out there today, get those tickets today. Go to thrivetimeshow.com. Again, that's thrivetimeshow.com. And some people might be saying, well, how do I do it? What do I do? How does it work? You just go to thrivetimeshow.com. Let's go there now. We're feeling the flow. We're going to thrivetimeshow.com. Again, you just go to thrivetimeshow.com. You click on the business conferences button, and you click on the request tickets button right there. The way I do our conferences is we tell people it's $250 to get a ticket.
Yep.
Or whatever price that you can afford. And the reason why I do that is I grew up without money. JT, you're in the process of building a super successful company. Did you start out with $1 million in the bank account?
No, I did not. Nope, did not get any loans, nothing like that. Did not get an inheritance from parents or anything like that. I had to work for it, and I'm super grateful. I came to a business conference. That's actually how I met you, met Peter Taunton. I met all these people.
So if you're out there today and you want to come to our workshop, again, you just got to go to thrivetimeshow.com. You might say, well, when's it going to be? June 27th and 28th. You might say, well, who's speaking? We already covered that. You might say, where's it going to be? It's going to be in Tulsa, Jerusalem, Oklahoma. And so it says Tulsa, Jerusalem. I'm really trying to rebrand Tulsa as Tulsa Jerusalem, sort of like the Jerusalem of America. But if you type in Thrive Time Show and Jinx, you can get a sneak peek or a look at our office facility. This is what it looks like. This is where you're headed. It's going to be a blasty blast. You can look inside, see the facility. We're going to have hundreds of entrepreneurs here. It is going to be packed. Now, for this particular event, folks, the seating is always limited because my facility isn't a limitless convention center. You're coming to my actual home office, and so it's going to be packed. So when June 27th and 28th, you're going to come. I'm talking to you. You can just get your tickets right now at thrivetimeshow.com. And again, you can name your price. We tell people it's $250 or whatever price you can afford. And we do have some select VIP tickets, which gives you an access to meet some of the speakers and those sorts of things. And those tickets are $500. It's a 2-day interactive business workshop, over 20 hours of business training. We're going to give you a copy of my newest book, The Millionaire's Guide to Becoming Sustainably Rich. You're going to leave with a workbook. You're going to leave with everything you need to know to start and grow a super successful company. It's practical, it's actionable, and it's Tebow time right here in Tulsa, Jerusalem. Get those tickets today at thrivetimeshow.com. Again, that's thrivetimeshow.com.
Hello, I'm Michael Levine, and I'm talking to you right now from the center of Hollywood, California, where I have represented over the last 35 years 58 Academy Award winners, 34 Grammy Award winners, 43 New York Times bestsellers. I've represented a lot of major stars, and I've worked with a lot of major companies. And I think I've learned a few things about what makes them work and what makes them not work. Now, why would a man living in Hollywood, California, in the beautiful sunny weather of LA, come to Tulsa? Because last year I did it, and it was damn exciting. Clay Clark has put together an exceptional presentation, really life-changing, and I'm looking forward to seeing you then. I'm Michael Levine. I'll see you in Tulsa.
James, did I tell you my good friend John Lee Dumas is also joining us at the in-person 2-day interactive Thrive Time Show Business Workshop? That Tim Tebow and that Michael Levine will be at. Have I told you this?
You have not told me that.
Oh, he's coming all the way from Puerto Rico. This is John Lee Dumas, the host of the chart-topping EOFire.com podcast. He's absolutely a living legend. This guy started a podcast after wrapping up his service in the United States military, and he started recording this podcast daily in his home, to the point where he started interviewing big-time folks like Gary Vaynerchuk, like Tony Robbins, and he just kept interviewing bigger and bigger names, putting out shows day after day. And now he is the legendary host of the EO Fire podcast, and he's traveling all the way from Puerto Rico to Tulsa, Oklahoma to attend the in-person June 27th and 28th Thrive Time Show 2-day interactive business workshop. If you're out there today, folks, you've ever wanted to grow a podcast, a broadcast, you want to improve your marketing, if you've ever wanted to improve your marketing, your branding, if you've ever wanted to increase your sales, you want to come to the 2-day interactive June 27th and 28th Thrive Time Show Business Workshop featuring Tim Tebow, Michael Levine, John Lee Dumas, and countless big-time super successful entrepreneurs. It's going to be life-changing. Get your tickets right now at thrivetimeshow.com. James, what website is that?
thrivetimeshow.com.
James, one more time before enthusiasm.
thrivetimeshow.com.
Shine, everything rides on tonight. Even if I got 3 strikes, I'ma go for it. This moment, we own it. I'm not to be played with because it could get dangerous. See these people I ride with. This moment, we own it.
Thrive Time Show 2-day interactive business workshops are the world's highest rated and most reviewed business workshops because we teach you what you need to know to grow.
You can learn the proven 13-point business systems that Dr. Zellner and I have used over and over to start and grow successful companies. I mean, we get into the specific steps on what you need to do to optimize your website. We're going to teach you how to fix your conversion rate. We're going to teach you how to do a social media marketing campaign that works. How do you raise capital? How do you get a small business loan? We teach you everything you need to know here during a 2-day, 15-hour workshop. It's all here for you. You work every day in your business, but for 2 days you can escape and work on your business and build these proven systems so now you can have a successful company that will produce both the time freedom and the financial freedom that you deserve. You're going to leave energized, motivated, but you're also going to leave empowered. The reason why I've built these workshops is because as an entrepreneur, I always wish that I had this. And because there wasn't anything like this, I would go to these motivational seminars, no money down, real estate, Ponzi scheme, get motivated seminars, and they would never teach me anything. It was like you went there and you paid for the big chocolate Easter bunny, but inside of it, it was a hollow nothingness. And I wanted the knowledge, and they're like, oh, but we'll teach you the knowledge after our next workshop. And the great thing is we have nothing to upsell. At every workshop, we teach you what you need to know. There's no one in the back of the room trying to sell you some next big get-rich-quick, walk-on-hot-coals product. It's literally, we teach you the brass tacks, the specific stuff that you need to know to learn how to start and grow a business. And I encourage you to not believe what I'm saying, and I want you to Google the Z66 auto auction. I want you to Google elephant in the room. Look at Robert Zellner and Associates. Look them up and say, are they successful because they're geniuses, or are they successful because they have a proven system? When you do that research, you will discover that the same systems that we use in our own business can be used in your business. Come to Tulsa, book a ticket, and I guarantee you it's going to be the best business workshop ever, and we'll even give you your money back if you don't love it. We've built this facility for you, and we're excited to see you.
And now you may be thinking, what does it actually cost to attend an in-person 2-day interactive Thrive Time Show business workshop? Well, good news. The tickets are $250 or whatever price that you can afford. What? Yes, they're $250 or whatever price you can afford. I grew up without money, and I know what it's like to live without money. So if you're out there today and you want to attend our in-person 2-day interactive business workshop, all you got to do is go to thrivetimeshow.com to request those tickets. And if you can't afford $250, we have scholarship pricing available to make it affordable for you.
I learned at the Academy, Kings Point in New York. Acta non verba. Watch what a person does, not what they say.
Whoa. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Robert Kiyosaki, the Rich Dad Radio Show. Today I'm broadcasting from Phoenix, Arizona, not Scottsdale, Arizona. They're close, but they're completely different worlds. And we have a special guest today. Definition of intelligence is if you agree with me, you're intelligent. And so this gentleman is very intelligent. I've done his show before also, but very seldom do you find somebody who lines up on all counts. And it's a Mr. Clay Clark. He's a friend of a good friend, Eric Trump. But we're also talking about money, bricks, and how screwed up the world can get in a few and a half hours. So Clay Clark is a very intelligent man, and there's so many ways we could take this thing. But I thought, since you and Eric are close, Trump, what were you saying about what Trump can't, what Donald, who's my age, and I can say or cannot say?
First of all, I have to honor you, sir. I want to show you what I did to one of your books here. There's a guy by the name of Jeremy Thorne, who was my boss at the time. I was 19 years old, working at Faith Highway. I had a job at Applebee's, Target, and DirecTV. And he said, have you read this book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad? And I said, no. And my father, may he rest in peace, he didn't know these financial principles. So I started reading all of your books and really devouring your books. And I went from being an employee to self-employed to the business owner to the investor. And I owe a lot of that to you. And I just wanted to take a moment to tell you thank you so much for allowing me to achieve success. And then I'll tell you all about Eric Trump. But I just want to tell you thank you, sir, for changing my life.
Well, not only that, Clay, thank you, but you become an influencer. More than anything else, you've evolved into an influencer where your word has more and more power. So that's why I congratulate you on becoming. Because as you know, there's a lot of fake influencers out there, too, or bad influencers.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm glad you and I agree so much. And thanks for reading my books.
Yeah.
That's the greatest thrill for me today. Not a thrill, but recognition is when people, young men especially, come up and say, I read your book, changed my life. I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this.
I learned at the Academy, Kings Point in New York. Acta non verba. Watch what a person does, not what they say.
Whoa.
Hey, I'm Ryan Wimpy. I'm originally from Tulsa, born and raised here. I went to a small private liberal arts college and got a degree in business. And I didn't learn anything like they're teaching here. I didn't learn linear workflows. I learned stuff that I am not using and I haven't been using for the last 9 years. So what they're teaching here is actually way better than what I got at business school. And I went what was actually ranked as a very good business school. The linear workflow for us in getting everything out on paper and documented is really important. Like we have workflows that are kind of all over the place, so having linear workflow and seeing that mapped out on multiple different boards is pretty awesome. That's really helpful for me. The atmosphere here is awesome. I definitely just stared at the walls, figuring out how to make my facility look like this place. This place rocks. It's invigorating. The walls are super, it's just very cool. The atmosphere is cool. The people are nice. It's a pretty cool place to be. Very good learning atmosphere. I literally want to model it and steal everything that's here at this facility and basically create it just on our business side.
Once I saw what they were doing, I knew I had to get here at the conference. This is probably the best conference or seminar I've ever been to in over 30 years of business.
You're not bored. You're awake, alive the whole time. It's not pushy. They don't try to sell you a bunch of things.
I was looking to learn how to just get control of my life, my schedule, and just get control of the business.
Planning your time, breaking it all down, making time for the F6 in your life, and just really implementing it and sticking with the program.
It's really lively. They're pretty friendly, helpful, very welcoming.
I attended a conference a couple months back, and it was really the best business conference I've ever attended.
At the workshop, I've learned a lot about time management, really prioritizing what's the most important.
Biggest takeaways are, you want to take a step-by-step approach to your business. Whether it's marketing, what are those 3 marketing tools that you want to use, to human resources.
Now, some of the most successful people and successful businesses in this town, their owners were here today because they wanted to know more from Clay, and I found that to be kind of fascinating.
The most valuable thing that I've learned is diligence. That businesses don't change overnight. It takes time and effort, and you got to go through the ups and downs of getting it to where you want to go.
He actually gives you the roadmap out. I was stuck, didn't know what to do, and he gave me the roadmap out step by step.
We've set up systems in the business that make my life much easier, allow me some time freedom.
Here you can ask any question you want. They guarantee it'll be answered.
This conference motivates me and also give me a lot of knowledge and tools.
It's up to you to do it. Everybody can do these things. There's stuff that everybody knows, but if you don't do it, nobody else can do it for you.
I can see the marketing working, and it's just an approach that makes sense.
Probably the most notable thing is just the income increase that we've had.
Everyone's super fun, it's super motivating. I've been here before, but I'm back again because it motivates me.
Your competition's going to come eventually, or try to pick up these tactics. So you better, if you don't, somebody else will.
I'm Rachel with Tip Top Canine, and we just want to give a huge thank you to Clay and Vanessa Clark.
Hey guys, I'm Ryan with Tip Top Canine. Just want to say a big thank you to Thrive 15. Thank you to Make Your Life Epic. We love you guys, we appreciate you, and really just appreciate how far you've taken us.
This is our old house, right? This is where we used to live 2 years ago. This is our old neighborhood. See? It's nice, right?
So this is my old van and our old school marketing, and this is our old team. And by team, I mean it's me and another guy.
This is our new house with our new neighborhood.
This is our new van with our new marketing, and this is our new team. We went from 4 to 14, and I took this beautiful photo. We worked with several different business coaches in the past, and they were all about helping Ryan sell better and just teaching sales, which is awesome, but Ryan is a really great salesman. So we didn't need that. We needed somebody to help us get everything that was in his head out into systems, into manuals and scripts, and actually build a team. So now that we have systems in place, we've gone from 1 to 10 locations in only a year.
In October 2016, we grossed 13 grand for the whole month. Right now it's 2018, the month of October. It's only the 22nd. We've already grossed a little over 50 grand for the whole month, and we still have time to go. We're just thankful for you, thankful for Thrive and your mentorship, and we're really thankful that You guys have helped us to grow a business that we run now instead of the business running us. Just thank you times 1,000.
So we really just want to thank you, Clay, and thank you, Vanessa, for everything you've done, everything you've helped us with. We love you guys.
If you decide to not attend the Thrive Time workshop, you're missing out on a great opportunity.
The atmosphere of Clay's office is very lively. You can feel the energy as soon as you walk through the door, and it really got me and my team very excited.
If you decide not to come, you're missing out on an opportunity to grow your business. Bottom line.
Love the environment. I love the way that Clay presents and teaches. It's a way that not only allows me to comprehend what's going on, but he explains it in a way to where it just makes sense.
The SEO optimization, branding, marketing. I've learned more in the last 2 days than I have the entire 4 years of college.
The most valuable thing that I've learned, marketing is key. Marketing is everything.
Making sure that you're branded accurately and clearly. How to grow a business using Google reviews, and then just how to optimize our name through our website also.
Helpful with a lot of marketing, search engine optimization, helping us really rank high in Google.
The biggest thing I needed to learn was how to build my foundation, how to systemize everything and optimize everything, build my SEO.
How to become more organized, more efficient.
How to make sure the business is really there to serve me, as opposed to me constantly being there for the business.
New ways of advertising my business, as well as recruiting new employees.
Group interviews, number one. Before we felt like we were held hostage by our employees. Group interviews has completely eliminated that because you're able to really find the people that would really be the best fit.
Hands-on, how to hire people, how to deal with human resources, a lot about marketing, and overall just how to structure the business, how it works for me, and also then how that can translate into working better for my clients.
The most valuable thing I've learned here is time management.
I like the 1 hour of doing your business is real critical if I'm going to grow and change.
Clay really teaches you how to navigate through those things and not only find freedom, but find your purpose in your business and find the purposes for all those other people that directly affect your business as well.
Everybody
Everybody.
Everyone needs to attend the conference because you get an opportunity to see that it's real.